Namaskar. Hello and welcome to 𝗣𝗲𝗄𝑠 channel. I am your host Sree Iyer, and joining me in person today is Major Madhan Kumar. Major ji, namaskar and welcome.
Namaskaram sir, thank you and Jai Hind.
Jai Hind, and it's been a long time. I'm meeting Major Madhan for the first time today in person. We've had several hangouts on 𝗣𝗲𝗄𝑠. I don't even remember where we started, but I'm glad we have that connect and we are going on. We are going to talk about our favorite topic, that is China. China has opened multiple fronts now and they are getting increasingly isolated. So we're going to pick on Major Madhan's brains. He's very plugged into all this stuff. So Major ji, first question to you. I'm hearing now murmurs that China is getting ready to lash out at somebody. That somebody could be 5 letters.
Yeah.
And I don't know the area, the region, because it's a very long border. What are your thoughts?
Before we actually come into the technical military subject of it, so we need to see what is happening in China as such, domestically. Their real estate industry is crashing.
Yes.
And it's been valued at around $1.9 trillion. It's quite a huge amount, it exceeds a lot of countries' GDP. The first collapse we have discussed already, it was Evergrande. Now the second company is Garden. And now the third one, it is Sino-Ocean Real Estates. So this is a small company which was valued decently in terms of their asset to debt ratio and all this macro parameters. But now they have defaulted on payment of $220 million interest. It's a very small amount for such a big company.
Right.
So after this default has happened, they have frozen that in the Hong Kong Stock Exchange now. You can't trade it, it's lying flat. Now the interesting part about this thing is, the investors of these companies are 2 major Chinese insurance companies. One which defaulted in 2021 was acquired by another state-owned insurance company. They are the 2 major investors in this. So when the regulatory body went and they went for an audit. It's like a SEBI going into an audit, we call it as a raid. When this thing happened, the company's CFO jumped off from the 27th floor.
Oh my God.
So this news got flashed and it was taken off. One of my friend who closely follows Chinese Weibo, so he took a screenshot of it, he had sent me that this guy is no more. The CFO jumps out and then he is no more now. Now it's a clear bullwhip effect. Now the insurance is under stress. The banks are under stress. Today, as we speak, is officially in Chinese Global Times, they openly said, yes, there is some sort of crisis here and policy changes are needed. We are trying to do some policy change. At the max, they can reduce the repo rate or they can give an artificial stimulus. In any which way, 2021 compared to 2023, the retail real estate demand has come down by almost 60 to 70%. 70.
Wow.
Now, there is a surplus inventory of housing which is available.
Correct.
So these guys have the crazy thing of going and demolishing it. So either you reduce the supply or you try to increase the demand. Or you try to reduce the banking loan interest so that the demand picks up. In all these 3, they have done 2 already. They can go for one more trim or they can extend it. The bond repayment, the interest again gets converted into a principal and they can extend it for a period of this thing. But there is no foresight or in the foreseen future, there is nothing visible. They are able to fix this problem. Maybe it's like a global shock, war somewhere else affects us and then we recover. There is no, structurally this entire collapse is done structurally. It has happened structurally over a period of 3 decades now. Now Chinese public is getting wary. Their pension funds are heavily invested. We know the population has started reversing, a lot of elders there. So elderly care doesn't exist in that country. More than that is to do with this banking, and so we are expecting another 2 more major real estate going bankrupt or defaulting in the loan as early as next 7 days. Now to divert this, they need something else, which is nothing but a war. To create a panic or a war-like situation, create a war-like situation so that people are getting engaged there. So these guys have launched something called a identify spy campaign. Nowhere in the history, the government runs a campaign in the newspapers, in the social media, try helping out the government to find the spies. Now the American spy who was caught in this thing, it was blown out of proportion. See, we have been infiltrated, we are a sovereign republic, there is an American external pressure there. So they're trying to demonize America now to the local audience. That one side it is going on. Second, they were under attack in Balochistan. We had put a video early, I think in the last year about 𝗣𝗚𝘂𝗍𝗏. 𝗣𝗚𝘂𝗍𝗏 has been breathing through their neck, and that video, I don't know whether if you could share it because it may get into strike and all.
Yes.
So when I saw that video, it's not a militant or a terrorist organization which is doing such kind of attack. It's a well-trained professional army.
That's true.
It's no more a militant group.
Very true. Viewers, if you want to get more context on this, go back to 𝗣𝗚𝘂𝗍𝗏's channel and search on Major Madhan. You will get that thing because this is a couple of videos that we have shown. Very, very vivid and detailed. Please continue, sir.
Now, in this attack, the media, Chinese-controlled Pakistan media, came to portray that 2 terrorists were shot dead, and there are minor injuries as far as the Chinese convoy is concerned. But any guy who was served in a defense force who wore a uniform will clearly see the convoy is a number of 13-14 civilian vehicles carrying Chinese engineers is going. And then there is a lead Pakistani vehicle, a QRT vehicle gives the protection, and there is a fallback vehicle which is in the rear. Now when this convoy comes under attack, you can be rest assured that there is at least few number of civilians or whoever gets killed because it's not a completely armored vehicle.
Correct.
It's not a bulletproof vehicle. So the Baluchi source of ours, who's a journalist, he is discreet. So he told us 13 Chinese were killed and 5 Pakistani soldiers were killed, and 2 Baluchi 𝗣𝗚𝘂𝗍𝗏's militants also got killed. They acknowledged it.
Okay.
They gave a funeral. The photographs of the funeral is right now available in Twitter. They said, yes, we lost 2 of our soldiers. They have honored them and they've been martyred, and we are giving them the state honors. The Baluchis are upping their game. Now, Baluchis has given a 1-month mandate for all the Chinese to vacate literally FO from this particular place called Balochistan. No more taking nonsense. Now, this entire...
literally FO.
Yeah,
literally go away.
So now this entire thing in Weibo, in their internal Twitter or a Facebook kind of a media, the Chinese are all going gaga that the 𝗣𝗚𝘂𝗍𝗏 has been trained by US.
Okay.
The 𝗣𝗚𝘂𝗍𝗏 has been trained by US, it's been equipped by US, because whatever the gears they are wearing is all made in US.
Right.
That was given to Afghanistan. Left it behind. It's out on an open sale in any market. You can go to Peshawar and buy it. So now they say this has been targeted, our citizens are getting targeted here, our citizens are getting targeted there. Now at this point of time, it's unconfirmed that India was pressing for a military level engagement talks with China. 13 rounds was already over. Yesterday the 14th got concluded. Now Chinese media says that when their foreign minister who went in the thin air, nothing is available. King Yang. Now this guy Yang Wei is leaves back now.
Again,
So this guy came and said, we are trying to have a conducive atmosphere. We are 2 responsible nations. We'll try to sort out ourselves. We don't want any external thing coming up. We don't want to have any Western influence. Now, people close to us say that this has been initiated by China. India has been insisting on this, that talk should keep continuing, that especially the Despang plains. The tri-junction area, we need to de-induct. And we need to get our patrolling rights back from patrol point 10 to 13. So that's the core agenda. India has put its foot down. But they were not ready for talks. Now, they said, okay, we will engage now. Let's talk to each other. The 14th round of Corps Commander Conference happened there. But if you notice this time, India had done 2 things. They just inducted 2 MiG-29 squadrons in Srinagar. And they openly, Air Force came out and declared that it is to confront 2-front threat. And we have deployed it operational ready. It can just take on a mission, combat mission, in just matter of few minutes. The missiles are equipped, the missiles are primed, and it's no jokes. They are just ready for a war. So that's the kind of stance which India gave. Secondly, we also gave a quite aggressive posture in the Ladakh sector, in physical location as well. And also Army has been given a sanction of 4,500 crore emergency purchase. So it doesn't go through the typical bureaucratic system of 3 quotations and all. Army is free to buy, give a statement of case and buy whatever they want. It doesn't have to be essentially made in India. They can go for any US or Western countries. So that has also been bought now. Now the air sorties have increased. The drones have been deployed. We have deployed the Heron drones now. And we have also said that it is for a combat mission. It's not only for surveillance, we can arm it also. And then India went and sat with them on the negotiation table yesterday, like I think 14th of August. 15th of August is the day where this conference happened. Now there is no headway. China doesn't want to restore the patrolling rights, and they don't want to disengage. And we also said unless these 2 things happen, we are also not going to disengage. Literally eyeball to eyeball, we have 50,000 troops on each side facing each other. And we are ramping up. Is something new which has happened? No, definitely not. But the posturing of the country has changed. We are going aggressively. When Chinese come and sit in the negotiation table, something will happen somewhere, some aggression, and then they will come and sit and negotiate. This time India is doing it. And we have been hearing that the defense minister calling out a couple of weeks back that we need, if the situation warrants, then all the people should come and fight. So we don't recruit or force recruit people in the military, but the concepts option is available in the law. We have never exercised it.
Correct.
It is there available in the law. So the defense minister calls out on NCC, calls out on civilian people to come and literally join and support the defense forces, which is literally a war cry. It was kind of underplayed by the media, but not specific to China as such. Now, when this thing happened, we are speaking about a 2-front threat. Pakistan is not in a situation to even fight a single day war with us. So it's all been mentioning on China. Now, China either has an option of opening up Taiwan, which in case US has shown a very, very aggressive posture. Out of the 11 aircraft carriers they have, the IBGs, integrated battle groups, 6 are in doing a wargaming across various time zones. This is a massive military exercise. I think US is doing post-Cold War era. 7 different time zones and 6 IBGs, integrated battle groups, are at the sea doing various military maneuvers. They have been wargaming, they have been doing simulation, and 3 command centers, one in Atlantic and one in Pacific and one in Middle East. All 3 are coordinating. Now, this much of a force, can China literally handle it? Cannot. Now, whether they are going to open up Taiwan, or whether they are going to show up some adventure in Arunachal, Ladakh, or even in undisputed territory like Uttarakhand, we just have to watch what they are up to. But the domestic situation compels them. Otherwise, this country, especially Xi's leadership, is going to collapse like a pack of cards if he doesn't divert this to something else.
Wonderful. And so you have given us a good picture about what's happening along the LAC, especially Depsang and Ladakh. Arunachal is another place where these people have been playing mischief. You know, if you remember, one time they got really badly ambushed by India.
Yeah, Yangtze.
And then, for some reason, I couldn't quite understand. And I want our viewers to also understand what happens in such things. They trespassed. They got caught. Nobody got shot. India returned them back. What did we get in return?
Okay. Now, the way this thing happens is, Arunachal, they can, and on a military point of view, they can attack and even they can capture a certain amount of territory, but they cannot retain it. Because the rear is very, very long. Logistically supporting that much of forces in Arunachal, and these guys have never fought a war post Vietnam. It's 79.
Right.
Jungle warfare is totally a different ball game.
Correct.
And high altitude, at least they have, at least we can say from 2020 to now 3 years of orientation and induction, they're kind of settled, the soldiers are settled in Ladakh, 16,000 feet above and minus 17 degree and above, below. So this is still okay, but jungle warfare is, it's quite a different ball game.
You can't drive tanks through that.
You can't drive tanks through them. It has to be infantry and it has to be troop versus troops. and your artillery doesn't matter except in certain places, except in few valleys. Your air power also doesn't matter much, and we have a very, very strong air defense in Arunachal. So if they attempt, they may capture few peaks, which is very, very close to Arunachal, but retaining it is going to be a big challenge. And if they have to retain, they have to shed blood. And if they shed blood beyond a point, they have to disclose it. Because it's an open source media, we get a live coverage of what's happening in Ukraine and Russia. So these days we have a cockpit coverage of how a missile hits a Sukhoi.
Correct.
So these guys, they will try to do a kind of poking. Or they may, I don't know whether they would dare to open up a firearm, but they may try to infiltrate and they may try to poke it. So this time they were at 𝗤𝙤𝙤. They tried to ambush with using the cloud cover. So we gave them back. To the best of my sources, Chinese soldiers were duly treated in the way they have to be by our Sikh soldiers. They were duly treated in the Punjabi way, and they were handed over back, and they were numerically 300 in number.
Wow, I thought it was 50 or 60.
They were numerically 300. Our guys are 50, and we quickly got reinforced. So now our surveillance capabilities have increased. Our listening capabilities have increased in these borders. So it is much more difficult for them to try something of this. What they will rely on heavily is a non-contact warfare in Ladakh, in places like Despang Plains, where they have batteries and batteries of their rocket regiments, where they can pound Indian portions with extraordinary and overwhelming firepower. That is what they can do, because our troops, we have deployed troops, but we are still in open. A considerable amount of troops are still in open. So we have not, we cannot build those many number of missile-proof bunkers in a period of just 6 or 8 months. That's a place they may target. And I still believe it will be still a hand-to-hand fight. It will be using clubs and it will be like Doklam. So they will try to take some videos, and their soldiers, PLA attacking the Indian soldiers, they'll try to grab some videos, go back and do a media campaign, go a propaganda campaign, and our own media is so crazy about publishing those videos. And then they try to kind of settle that, see, we have sorted out India. That's a thing. But I am sure with a lakh plus of soldiers, this many divisions of soldiers sitting at this border, whose defenses are well prepared, and in that mountain range, the fighting ratio, you got to be at least 12 times more powerful.
Yes.
Fight 1:5 is the plain.
They don't have. They only have 2 divisions available now.
Yeah. Now 50,000 and 50,000. We are not going to go on attack.
Right.
So if they are going to attack us, you need to be numerically superior, at least minimum by 7 to 8 times. With keeping Taiwan under issue, and then South China Sea, East China Sea, Japan is like moving aggressively. The exercise Malabar, which traditionally used to happen in Arabian Sea or Bay of Bengal, is currently happening in Australia. It's very, very close to South China Sea. So they are also being encircled, they are also being surrounded. Will they take this chance? And Xi, unlike Putin, doesn't trust his military fully. He is capable, he is well aware of what his actual military capabilities are. What they show it on TV is something different. But PLA's real capability is aware. They are yet not ready for a full-fledged war. And Xi has clearly seen what has happened in Russia. We all predicted that this war will get over in 14 days. So these are the things which may prevent Xi to go do an aggressive thing at our borders, but beyond which power becomes everything, and if his power is at stake, we have seen the rocket force regiments, complete top leadership, top army commanders have been replaced. They have been sacked, and the new force commanders
that was at Pride.
Yeah.
And US just published in their think tanks all the different plans and everything. It's just an embarrassment.
Yeah. You heard of the PLA commander, son who was in the US university.
And that's how Shin got messed up. His girlfriend also happens to be a double agent.
And surprisingly, what I heard, it may be a conspiracy, we are not sure, but what I heard is the information firewall is too strong in China, and for that they operate a separate operating system. which India has suddenly come out. We are moving away from Microsoft to a different platform in India now. So they have a separate exclusive platform there, and communication between that platform to the main Chinese headquarters also happens through a medium which is controlled by MSS. So any information which passes to and fro between the interface is monitored by the MSS. Now it's been said that there is an MSS agent or the surveillance guy who is supposed to monitor these generals, what they exactly do, had actually collaborated with the generals.
What expand MSS for us? Military
security service.
Security service.
It's nothing but a
military intelligence.
It's a CIA. It's a CIA of this thing. So MSS now, its funny thing is MSS coming out and they opened a kind of a YouTube channel and they said, identify spy campaign. Now all the citizens are getting exhibited that, find out the spy, see this is what is happening. Americans have infiltrated a lot of spies. Keeping them busy. So this like, I haven't heard of something like this where a raw CIA comes and gives a full page advertisement in newspaper, New York Times says, please identify spies and get them back to us. So they're trying to kind of engage the population, but it is beyond what they can chew. They have bitten what beyond they can chew, actually.
Wonderful, Major Madhan. Last question for you before we wrap up. Submarines. So the rockets are exposed. Their S-300 knockoff has been exposed. You know when, right? So the S-400, they still not got it. No cloned version yet. What about their submarines? How good are their submarines?
To give you an unbiased view, because this is a very sensitive information, to the best of the knowledge, open source, whatever is available, till 2020, their submarines had an advantage. They had a very, very strong dominant presence in the IOR. This is kind of, we should agree that they were dominant. They came very, very close to India and those submarines were not detected on time. But P8I changed the game for India. The Navy had extensively, it was bought on lease from US. They have been using it extensively. It's a submarine killer. So it detects, it can arm it, and it can keep the submarine engaged till such time a fighter jet comes in or any missile system comes and hits the submarine. Now they are not able to maintain that dominance. And what we also get to hear is almost 90% of the Indian submarine fleet, both the French and the Russian origin, are active in the sea. It's very, very unlikely unless there is a war-like situation or a war game that happens. Not all, you don't put your 90% assets in the sea and make them roam around. There are a couple of things in maintenance and a couple of things in upgrades and a couple of things on sale. It's 1/3 ratio. Now it's almost 90% of us is active, and we also can say or we can predict that we are as active as close to South China Sea or even in the South China Sea.
Wonderful, Major Madhan. And I also heard, this is maybe you can yes or no kind of question. I heard that their submarines are noisy, therefore Indian submarines can track them, but not vice versa. And if as a submarine you get tracked, then you might as well be on the, so you just go have a battleship. Why do you have to have a submarine?
If a submarine is detected, it's not a submarine. If you are like noisy for whatever reasons, they've been showing fancy videos. The propagation, like we should appreciate Chinese. They're too good. They're able to infiltrate our minds. So there's one article which was beautifully written by the ex-Joint Intelligence Committee Chief, Mr. Pradhan. He's a great guy, great person with great knowledge. So he wrote something about Chinese cognitive warfare capabilities. If you look at the last 2 years, since the time the Galwan happened, right from the social media, a lot of handles spoke to me, sir, is it real? Why can't we speak out? Why can't you speak in your channel? Why can't you speak in P Gurus? A lot of others, naval officers also get this query, and even the army officers get this query. That India has lost 2,000 square kilometers of land to China, starting April 2020. Now this has gone beyond a level, cognitively it has penetrated to common citizens. Rahul Gandhi speaks the same thing. Ranjit Singh Surjewala speaks the same thing. The communist politician speaks the same thing. Now you need to substantiate it. You have the parliamentary committee, which compromises MPs from cutting across the party line. They were on visit to all military establishments in India. They came to Chennai, they saw how the Officer Training Academy works. They went to naval base in 𝗏𝗏. They saw what exactly is happening there. The parliament committee is so powerful. Every military establishment is actually inviting them. They're like audit agency. You're free to, the parliamentarians are free to ask where the taxpayers' money is exactly been spent in. Now they went to Leh. Most of this parliamentary committee politicians are from the opposition party. Now somebody has to substantiate where this 2000 figure came from.
Right.
Now it has been drilled to such level, the army starts defending it. No, it is not the case. Then the ex-chief comes and speaks, the present chief comes and speaks. By then this news is literally infiltrates every Indian mind. So they are too good at it. Similarly in submarine, they have been trying hard to do this, the Chinese submarines or so. But if you keenly look at the past 6 months, 2 months before we did a exercise in our Western Front, where 2 of our battleships, the aircraft carriers Vikrant and 𝗣𝗚𝘂𝘁 were side by side. There were 2 integrated IBGs who did a massive drill, and you can see from this aircraft carrier, they took a nice photographs of a sunset. The 2 were moving together. They have been trying hard to get this photograph for the past 1 year. They have not been able to. What they did is they simulated kind of a video game, and then they've been putting it. So they show the ships individually, and we have seen the OSINT report of those Chinese ships cracking, literally the aircraft carrier cracking. Now they show the 2 ships simultaneously through a fast forward video. It gets built from the scratch and then it goes out. And then suddenly this similar picture comes and see how far it did. We have the 2 battle groups ready. US has been doing it. That's the power of US. We need to agree that that country is mighty because of 11 integrated battle groups. We can literally go to any part of the world and take on any country. We have proved our mettle that we have 2 aircraft carriers which are battle ready. We have 2 battle groups, IBGs. Now these guys have been struggling hard. So they are exposed. They are getting exposed. I pray to God that in some form this Chinese jets has to go to Ukraine or maybe in Africa or maybe in some other country where some war or the other is happening. These Chinese fancy jets, the stealth jets, will also get exposed in due course of time. We are going to see it.
Wonderful, Major Madhan, and a good 360-degree view of what is happening with China and India, and let's hope that things won't come to that. They won't try to again poke their finger. It's going to get burnt. We know that.
We are going to burn them. So this time I think it's going to be much more. If we preempted, the fun is gone.
Yes.
We'll wait and see. See the club sticks. We can also make good club sticks. Club sticks. So we will have.
Wonderful, wonderful, sir. And viewers, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to click on the bell button for notifications. Major Madhan, a pleasure having you. Namaskar, Jai Hind, Vande Mataram.
Namaskar, sir. Jai Hind.